A lot of people still don't believe what I say, even to this day. But I hope that someone would believe that the horror I experienced is real, so that I could finally ease my pain, even if it's just a little bit. That's why I'm posting this to this community. 7 years ago, one deep dawn, I woke up suddenly with goosebumps all over my body. My heart stopped for a second as soon as my vision came back slowly from the darkness. That was because around 7 people with knives in their hands were staring at me. Their faces were painted with white paint. At that moment, I learned that in such a horrific moment, even a single voice does not come out. As if they were waiting to wake me up, they surrounded my face with knives. 7 knives around my face, leaving just about 1 centimeter away from my face. If I moved my head even just a little bit, my face would have been stabbed all over. Frozen in place, I moved my eyes around. They were laughing like psychos, staring at me. I screamed. One of them put their knife right under my chin so that I could not open my mouth to scream. I asked why they were doing this to me, crying. They did not say a single word. Instead, they breathed grotesquely as if they were animals that couldn't speak. After suffering from extreme horror without moving a single bit for hours, I eventually fainted. The next morning, when I opened my eyes, I vomited frantically with a terrible headache. Although the window was broken and open, the trace of them coming and going was nowhere to be found. I couldn't breathe properly, and my heartbeat was 3 times faster than usual and would not stop. I collapsed on my bed while my body was still shaking. I could not believe what had happened to me. Although I reported this incident to the police, the investigation was not easy, for there were no direct wounds left on my body and there was no evidence left behind. I stayed at my friend's house for a while, but I had terrible nightmares every night. However, this is not the end of the story. One day, I heard on the news that a woman in her 60s had died of a heart attack in her sleep. A neighbor of hers saw the window broken and reported it to the police. The police started to investigate, but they concluded that the reason of her death was a heart attack, since there weren't any wounds on her body. There were no fingerprints of the culprits, no evidence at all to be found. But I thought I knew who did it. I was certain that it was them. So I said that to the police. However, when they asked me what the criminals looked like, I couldn't explain it to them properly because they were all covered in white paint. After that, I moved away and have not heard if they were caught. However, I still suffer from horrendous nightmares even to this day. Even tonight, I jumped out of the bed because I felt a blade on my face. However, that was just in my imagination. After being panicked again for a while, I could not go back to sleep. It is 4 in the morning, and I am writing this post to upload to this website because I can't sleep. I have no idea why they did such a thing, or what their motives were. Even now, although 7 years have passed, this incident remains a mystery, and the terrible trauma left in me remains unsolved.